Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill among men. We praise thee, we bless thee, we worship thee.
Many years ago, I was living in Berkeley, California, and I had the pleasure of meeting a young seminarian who was from Egypt. And he invited me to his family's home for dinner one evening. His grandmother was there, and he asked his grandmother to tell a story about the Holy Virgin that had really happened to her. She was a young widow. Her husband had died, and she was only 28 years old, and she had 5 children to support. And she had no means of income, and she didn't know what she was going to do. And she was crying one night, and a woman came to her door and said, "I can help you." One night in the presence of this woman, and the next day, this woman was a seamstress. And within short order, she became known as one of the great seamstresses of Cairo. And she ended up having such a good income that she was able to put all of her 5 children through school and into college. And the day that her last child moved out of the home, she could no longer even sew. All of her skills were gone. And as the woman was telling me this story, she started crying, and she said the woman that had instructed her on how to be a seamstress was none other than the Mother of God. I asked the young man about such a miracle, and I said, why is it that we in the West don't hear of miracles like this? I had heard of some miracles happening in Cairo and other places in the Middle East to Christians, and particularly this apparition of the Holy Virgin that appeared many years ago during the reign of Anwar Sadat over the Church of St. Mary. And this man saw this woman walking along the top of the dome, at the side of the dome, and he yelled out, "Lady, don't jump." And she continued walking, and he ran out into the street, and he lifted up his hand and he said, "Lady, please don't jump," thinking that she was going to commit suicide. The man had a withered arm from birth. He was a mechanic, but only could work with one hand. And this woman still kept walking, so he ran out into the street and he yelled out, "Lady, don't jump." And he realized that this withered hand had been made whole. This man was healed. The uncle of the young man that was telling me this story said that the whole family had gone to see this apparition, and that his uncle had had an operation that had festered, and he was going to have to go back into the hospital to have the wound cleaned and restitched. But he decided to go with the family first to witness this apparition of the Holy Virgin. And as the Virgin appeared, he felt a funny sensation in his side. And after the apparition, he went to the hospital, and there wasn't even a scar. He had been completely healed. And I asked the young man, why is it that miracles like this happen, but they don't happen here? And he said, and I will never forget this, he said, because you Westerners are too scientific. You don't expect miracles, but miracles happen all around you. And this is true. Miracles do happen all around us. We just have to pay attention.
The Very Reverend Father Trifon is abbot of All Merciful Savior Monastery on Vashon Island in the Puget Sound. This has been a listener-supported presentation of Ancient Faith Radio.